Hello and welcome back to the RDA. This is your Manchester United versus Southampton match preview. And if you are new to the channel, please do consider subscribing, do smash a like on the video, and comment down below any of your thoughts and opinions throughout the show in general. But gentlemen, before we get into Manchester United versus Southampton, I must ask. It's been a while, not that long, but it has been a while. How are you both doing today?
No, I'm doing alright. Still kind of happy about the results, not the second half in the Champions League that I'm referring to. So yeah, not much to complain about, except for my chair, which I've messed up the adjustment to. But besides that, I'm good.
Peyton, how are you?
It's all good, boy. Let's get this show on the road and let's get Southampton out of the way. It's very scary.
Well, I see that Clayton is very eager to get into it, and I'm also actually eager to get into it because, guys, my initial thoughts is that this Southampton game is no walk in the park. It is by far no walk into the park. I think it's one of our toughest games coming up. I know we had the Istanbul game, and we did have a game before that against West Brom, which were, they were, with all due respect, the easier run of fixtures that we had. And now we're going to play Southampton. We're going to be playing the likes of City, Leeds, some real tough opponents heading into this game. But gentlemen, our initial thoughts with playing Southampton. Let's get both of your thoughts on how they're gonna set up tactically, how they're gonna look to play against us, because I know that you two are big Southampton fans. Well, I don't say fans, like you support them, but you like the way they play, you like the way they set up, and the manager, he's not your typical just fights relegation manager, isn't
he? Yeah. No, honestly, I'm worried. I won't lie to you. I'm seriously worried about this game. I honestly think, Champions League aside, in the league, I think this might be our second hardest game. And we've played Arsenal and Chelsea, so that says something. I think after Spurs, who have been in brilliant form, I put Southampton up there because they have also been in brilliant form. I think they're fifth or something. They play some really good football. Like Ralph Hasenhuttl is a really good manager. And it's impressive because he seems to lose it from time to time, but how he can galvanize his team again is honestly impressive. And they play some proper football. Defensively, they're solid. On the transition, they're not. They're threatening. They can take on anyone, and it worries me because I feel like if they play anything like they played against us last year, I think we drew 1-1. Yes, it was a mistake from us at the end, but then I think it was 1-1 because they put so much pressure on us for the 90 minutes. If they play anything like that this time, I honestly think they're probably going to beat us. Yeah. I think they're probably going to beat us because in that game, they played a very organized positional press and they were feeding on our turnover balls. And I think that's how Arsenal played against us a few weeks ago. That's how Chelsea played against us a few weeks ago. And I don't know if we can combat that. I don't trust Ole tactically to combat that. I think our best chance is if we can try to replicate what we did in the first half against Istanbul. But even that, I just don't know if we have enough to beat this team under Ole, and that's scary.
Oh, interesting thoughts. Clayton, what are your initial thoughts about the way Southampton are going to play and approach this game?
Yeah, we'll also basically hit the nail on the head. It's that they're going to be playing a big positional press, and they're going to put everybody under a lot of pressure. And one thing that we need to see to win this game is we need Donny playing. If Donny does not start this game, we lose. I think it's that simple right now. He's probably our most press-resistant player in this team, and he is actually calm and knows what to do with the ball at his feet, despite him being pressed. And if we don't see him start, if we see a Fred and McTominay, for example, I think we lose. It's as simple as that. I just think Southampton are in a very good space right now. The manager has very much galvanized this team, and they are just dangerous, and we're just an obstacle in their way right now, and not the other way around.
Yeah.
Just very scary part of this game right now, and like Moses said, it's definitely one of our biggest challenges through this run right now.
Yeah.
So
it's very interesting you mentioned that because we'll get into more depth on the nonsense basically I've written down on this whiteboard, but I have Donny in this predicted team as well because I feel like Ollie's in the situation where Donny played so well. It's almost like even though you don't like him, how can you not play Donny van de Beek in these upcoming games?
Yeah,
Clearly, we don't know what's happening with Pogba. But the reason why I have this little V thing here with the arrows, Clayton, you asked me before the show what it meant. But the reason I have it there is because I was thinking that, because if I'm putting myself, that's not what I would think. I'm putting myself in Ollie's shoes, and if I was in Ollie's shoes, I'm thinking that, listen, my job on the line in the Premier League. I mean, my job in the Premier League is it's not going as well as it is in Europe. I am running more scared. I can't take as many risks and stuff, and I'm wondering if, and Ollie's head, Ollie's thinking that he wouldn't trust this partnership of Fred and Donny van de Beek to go up against the likes of Southampton, to play with them against their high press. I think Ollie will be thinking Southampton are dangerous, they press very high, the football is intense, and that he wants Fred and McTominay to be there to, once again, also protect these two lazy centre backs. I don't say lazy like that, but they just ain't, they don't complement each other. They lack the pace, they lack the mobility. And I'm not saying Southampton have the most mobility and fast-paced strikers. They have the likes of Danny Ings and people like that. But there's people around them who can still get in behind, and we've seen. And Walcott, yeah, they have Walcott now as well. So in my mind, the only reason that V with the arrows is there is that because I think that Ollie won't be thinking that is Donny van de Beek who must play in this game because of the defensive responsibility that's going to be needed in this game. But that's just my thoughts. So Clay, now that I've said that, do you still think that if you play Donny van de Beek and that knowing that how we have to defend in this game, we obviously us as fans we shouldn't be saying that no, our defense needs to be solid. We need to defend more against Southampton because we want to see this team. We want to see them go and take the game to Southampton. But Clay, do you still think that knowing our defensive liabilities, that you still think that Donny van de Beek is the right option to play? You still stand by that?
Yep, I fully stand by it. I think Donny van de Beek is really good defensively as well. It's not like he does no defensive work, but he just doesn't give the ball away like a Scott does every other second. It's a big thing. If Scott McTominay is pressed, he's going to give the ball away, and Southampton is so dangerous. They will keep that ball, and then they'll just hurt us from it. If Walcott gets in between our centre backs and McTominay just gives away the ball, we're done. It's a goal. We're 1-0 down. So we need a Donny playing this game, no doubt. We need him to come down. We need to pick up the ball. We need him to do exactly what he did against Istanbul again. Because that's just the type of player he is. He wants to control the game. He's comfortable controlling the game, and he is just so calm on the ball, and he knows how to play the ball. He doesn't put pressure on our other players. He just plays it simple. He just encourages them to keep it simple, and we need that right now, especially in a high press like Southampton.
So so Moloto, do you agree with what Clayton said? Do you think that knowing that we have to defend probably a lot more in this game, you think you have faith in Donny van de Beek to do the likes of like Fred and McTominay do, or like Fred and Matic do, and things like that? Do you have faith in Donny van de Beek to do the same thing defensively?
100%. But honestly, I want him to do a little bit more than that. I want his offensive prowess in this game, because what I noticed in the game against Arsenal, which is how I think Southampton will play, is that they were so organized in their press that we couldn't play past it. We were so defensive, but we couldn't go to the other side of the pitch to score a goal. And they had chances, but luckily for us, they're not very clinical. Or maybe not luckily, because they ended up getting the penalty and winning. I think Southampton won't waste the chances Arsenal did. They're way more clinical than I think.
That's very true.
And I think we need a balance. I think with Donny, he has the offensive ability to release and help Bruno, because in those games I thought the pressure was too much on Bruno and they could just mind mark him and that was over. In this game, I think he has the offensive ability to assist Bruno on the transition with those effective goals, but defensively not be a liability like Pogba. So I think he's the perfect player for this game.
I want to go back to something you said at the beginning of the show, where you said that oh my god, I literally just had it in my head. I've had a mind thought. But you said, what is it? Oh my god, I can't remember what it is. Oh. But anyway, my point was gonna be that, in this game that, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, this team on paper looks very good. Obviously, it looks more of an attacking team. That's obviously what we want. That, I'm not trying to say that I don't want to see this type of team or a more attacking team. Obviously, we want to attack Southampton. But the point you made at the beginning of the show, now I remembered, was that is Ollie and his team tactically good enough to make this Manchester United team play attacking way and beat Southampton? And that's why I think if I see that team against Southampton, I'm going to be personally worried. And it's not because I don't trust that team, it's because I don't trust the way that they're going to be tactically set up. and just how and the general instructions and tactics that they will have in the game. Because I'll touch into everything now, because I have this here. You guys know what that symbol means by now. It's the same old weakness. Maguire and Lindelof are a weakness. They can get a job done, but they are very weak. That's why we know Ollie picks Fred and McTominay, or Fred and Matic, or Fred or whoever. It's Scott and Matic. He plays two CDMs. So Donny is not really an out and out defensive midfielder. He's very good at it. He's probably our best playing that role. So I would trust Donny. But for some reason in my head, I feel like if you play Fred, Donny, Maguire, Lindelof, and Alex Telles, not Luke Shaw, I think we could have troubles defensively, and I think that could cost us the game. And I'm not saying now that I want to see Fred and McTominay or Fred and Matic and stuff, but I think if he does pick that team, and the way if I have to think of what Ollie's good at, that's probably his best thing. Because I don't know if I trust Ollie yet to pick a very good team. I want him to pick this team because obviously that's the way we move forward. This is the team to move forward with. But I'm very worried. I'm concerned, and I don't know about you boys. So I'll ask you guys the same thing, because at the moment the only thing I'm worried about is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 defensively. And that's 5 players there, and that I don't really know if I trust Ollie and his team to get it right with those players defensively. But do you guys have the faith that, do you think that even though with Ollie's tactics that those players can still get the job done?
Here's the thing. I feel like we're going to have to play on the ball. I don't think they're going to allow us to play on the counter. Because unlike Everton, who just seemed off it that day and they were lackluster, we could play this team because they were giving us spaces. This team, the whole point of playing positional press is being able to press higher but still being very organized defensively. And I think, as I said, we're going to see the same problems against Chelsea and Arsenal. We're not going to be able to play through them. And I feel like that's going to be even worse if it's McTominay and Fred. So I feel like we need someone who's good on the ball in that midfield, but is able to defend as well. And besides that, we're freaking Manchester United.
Exactly.
Where is Ole going? Where is Ole going as a manager if he's not going to start picking a team that can play their style and, just put out their agenda and say, we're here to win the game, we're here to win the title? He's going nowhere if he's not going to do that. If we're going to keep being reactionary and chopping and changing depending on the team, what's the point of him being here, honestly?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why, I would prefer him to pick out a team like this, actually go for it, and if you do, let's just say, if you do go out and attack Southampton and they do pull off, the high press, they're very good, and they punish us because, tactically we weren't just good enough. I'm like, yeah, fair play to Ollie. I can't really fault him because he went for the game, he went to look to attack, but then also it's a win-win situation because he went to attack. If he wins, and that shows, some positivity. But if he does that and he loses, and it's also because of tactics, it's like, well, then he's just proving our point that Ollie, as much as we love him, he's just tactically at the end of the day he's just not good enough. So in my eyes, it's a win-win. But that's the problem, because in my mind, I don't think Ollie's trying to think of a win-win. Like, listen, if I play attractive football, the fans will love me, whatever. And if I go against Southampton and I go for them, that they'll love me and stuff. He's probably thinking, listen, if I do that and I lose, it's game over. And as a manager, I don't want to get sacked, obviously. So I would be very surprised, actually, if I see the return of Donny van der Beek. I want him to.
No, I feel
but
like
I'd be very surprised. That's the only concern. Really.
Fred, you can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result, as Einstein famously said. This defensive football, it's inconsistent. 1 week it's good, 1 week it isn't, 1 week it's good, 1 week it isn't, and we can't keep doing that. We need to try something different. For me, I feel like we have some of the best attacking players in the league, the best. So I think we need to start using that to our advantage. We need to try outscore more teams, because I feel like we'll win more games like that, because it's an asset we have that they don't have, and I think we need to take advantage.
I 100% agree. I think that other thing that really annoys me, Clayton, I want your thoughts on this also, is that it's like we're playing to cover our holes. Like we said, our strength is not defense. We know that's our weakness. Maguire and Lindelof aren't good enough. We don't have an out-and-out amazing CDM. But what do we do here? From that side, from Donny upwards there, is absolutely fantastic footballers. People we all trust, people we know that they can get the job done, and that's our strength. United's strength is the attacking midfield too, and just the front three. And it's just, it's like, in my head, it's like, why aren't you just playing logically? It's like, why aren't you just playing to your strength? Why are you trying to, protect your weakness and, cover the weakness? Everyone knows what your weakness is. Everyone's going to try to exploit it anyways. So let's just hurt them with what we got.
Yeah. Do you guys remember under Mourinho, where in his last season, first half would be so defensive, and then the other team would score. The second half would come out and we'd be the better team because he'd be like, just go at them, and it would
Yeah.
happen game in game out. You just wonder,
Yeah,
like, just use your strengths,
yeah,
dude.
it's like it's a recent past, Clay, and I still want your thoughts on it, by the way. But yeah, it's like it seems like the recent past where it's like all our managers when they defend, it's like and then once a goal goes in and they have no choice but to say go out, attack them, take the game to them. Then all of a sudden we look like the better team. We look like old Manchester United. So yeah, that's just how I feel. Clay, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely get that. But we need to be playing for our strengths, like you said, which is definitely our offense. And I certainly hope we see Donny. If we don't, say we lose. It's as simple as that for me right now. If Donny does not play this
I
game,
can see that.
we lose. It's as simple as that. If we play Fred and McTominay, they're going to get dribbled circles around. Maguire and Lindelof are going to look like just idiots.
Yeah.
But slight hopeful thing as well. Maybe Lindelof's injury is a bit bad and we see it's one step pick up him. So it's a potential, but you never know.
It is a very big potential.
I feel like the difference is when you play Donny, it maybe doesn't matter how good they are. We maybe beat them slightly on quality because we have the better players and the more balanced team than we beat them.
Yeah. I want to. Yeah, the thing with Donny, let's talk about Donny quick, right? Because in Ollie's head, the only reason Donny won't play is because either Scott McTominay or Matic will play, right? That's the only reason. I can't see him playing anywhere else unless he plays instead of Rashford, and Rashford has some break or injury or whatever. But let's just say his instant replacement for not picking Donny van de Beek is Matic or McTominay. Now, if we compare Donny van de Beek to those two players, right? Let's compare them. Donny van de Beek, what does he have over them? He's got passing is way better. He's more tenacious. He's a lot faster. He's a lot more intelligent. He's a very good tackler, actually, in fact. So I think he does that, and I think he knows that position better than probably at least McTominay. Maybe not so much Matic, but at least McTominay. Right? The only reason in my head, the only trait that and Donny's a good leader as well. But the only trait in my head that Donny doesn't have that Matic and McTominay has is that physical and height. Other than that, Donny trumps them on everything. So it's logic to pick Donny van de Beek. And I think I do side with you guys. I'm just giving the opinion of what Ollie is probably thinking. But I do agree with you guys. It's like it's criminal not to pick Donny van de Beek for this game. It's criminal.
Like, we can't play two defensive CDMs forever. Like, where are we gonna go with that? Honestly, we're not gonna score enough goals. We're not gonna be threatening enough. And like, I remember Mourinho used to play Matic and Cesc Fabregas in these two positions, and Cesc Fabregas is not the most defensively inclined, but then he would help Oscar in that offensive side of the game, and you need that if you're going to be consistent. And I feel like Donny van de Beek is the perfect person for this position. Like, defensively he's good, but offensively he's also decent. Like, I don't know what Ole needs to see this. I think he needs to watch over that game over and over again until he realizes that you have the perfect man for your system, and he's been on your bench.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like I said before, Donny is just everything, and I watched a Statman Dave video on him as well last night when it came out.
I seen that video, yeah.
Yeah. Donny does everything for us, and you don't quite realize it until they highlight his specific position. Like, we saw that in glimpses throughout the game, but focusing solely on him, he is integral in this team now.
Yeah, it's very true.
You don't see him play. Lindelof's going to get caught out, Maguire's going to get caught out, they're going to make stupid mistakes because Donny isn't there to help them. Aaron's going to make stupid mistakes. Stupid things are going to happen because we're not press resistant. Donny's the closest thing to press resistant we have in this team. And if we're not playing him, we're done in this game.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because I was thinking back to our match reaction against Istanbul, where people were like, especially Malot gave me man of the match. Donny van de Beek man of the match. Obviously, I gave Bruno man of the match. But I was just, I watched some videos, whether it be United Stan or any other United fan channel or just Twitter in general or whatever. Statman Dave, like you said, go check that video out also if you want. But all those guys were saying that it clearly was something I didn't really notice. I thought he had a great game. I gave him a 7, but there was clearly something more in that game that I didn't see yet. Maybe, I don't know why. I could have just not been paying that much attention because I just trust Donny. So I'm like, it's like Wan-Bissaka. I don't really look at him that much in depth when I don't have to. I more analyze the other players. But clearly, everybody's seen something that that was key from Donny van de Beek. So I think looking at it back and thinking about it back is that I do think that Donny van de Beek is integral for this game, and I do think that he is the key, one of the keys. Like we always say, you can't drop Bruno. He is the guy who makes this United team tick. He's the guy that runs the show in this United team. If there's anything that's going to happen in United, it's coming from Bruno Fernandes. But when you have someone like Donny next to him, the pressure is slightly more off, and Donny does so much of like the donkey work that other players don't. You won't get the credit as as a Bruno would, obviously, because it's not always about the flashy goals, the flashy assists, the numbers and stuff. It's about other things you do, which is something I give Fred a lot of credit for, and I've always for long now since we started doing the show, I've always given Fred that credit. But I think Donny does that, and he still does more than that. So yeah, it will be completely bizarre if all he does is pick Donny van de Beek, but still, if you are a United fan, don't be too shocked when it comes Sunday and you don't see Donny van de Beek on the team sheet. And if we don't see Donny van de Beek on the team sheet, and it's like we all said, if we do lose or draw, then it's only one person's fault, in it. It's not my fault, it's not Clayton's fault, it's not no one else's fault. It's only Ollie's fault. So yeah, I think I agree with you guys. I think Donny is going to be one of the vital points, and we'll speak about it more, so we can get into the team sheet more. But yeah, finish off Malone before we get there.
Yeah, like if you just think about it logically, what Ollie's trying to do is play 2 6s and 10. It doesn't work. How does the ball get to the 10?
Yeah.
And now you have either Fred or McTominay pushing out, trying to fill in that void in the 8, and they're not that good at it. Fred is a bit better than McTominay, but they're not that good at it. If there's anyone who can do that, it's Donny van de Beek, and it just gives us it gives our midfield balance, and that's what we need.
Yeah.
And a big thing as well is, like in the Statman Day video, which is a really good video still, we could play the same system that Poch plays. We could play Bruno out wide as a wide playmaker like an Ericsson. Donny is a goal scorer out and out. He's fantastic in the 10. Obviously, he's really good in the 8, and we could use it a lot better in that 8 role. But it's always a possibility if we need to change
That's why I love this team, and that's why I liked it against Istanbul, because that's the first time I could tell you that team is probably the future. And that team, if you're Ollie out like me, myself, and you want a Poch, that is the team to play Poch's way. And I think that's Ollie's way out. If he starts picking the Poch type of team and plays almost as a Poch, way, it's like, who, if I was Ollie, I'd be thinking like, listen, obviously people want me out, my job is on the line. Why do people want me out? I'm not getting the results. I play shite football. I'm losing some of the fans' trust. And then I'll be thinking, if I get fired, who do Manchester United want? They want Mauricio Pochettino. I'll be thinking, okay, now, if I'm Ollie, I'll be thinking, fine. Who would Pochettino pick? He'd probably pick a team very similar to this. And he'd probably think, how would he play? And, he'd see. So, Ollie couldn't do that. And I think if there ever is a chance for Ollie to turn it around, is he has to think, like the way I just said, if I was Ollie, I would be thinking it like that. Like, why do people want this man? Why do people want these players? What are they seeing that I'm not? So it's a big thing. So that's why, I'm going to get to the team now. But first of all, we'll get into the team, we'll talk about certain players and everything. That you gentlemen see that team there. Do you guys think that is the right team? That like, just straight up, do you think that's the right team, or if there's a player you would get out of it?
Cavani out, in my opinion. I like our OG front three. Martial to the middle, Rashford from the left, and Greener back into the starting lineup on the right.
Okay. Clay?
For this game specifically, I think Cavani's going to get man-marked by Vestergaard, and he's going to be out of this game. It's simple as that. Especially if you're playing the cross game again, we're not going to win the cross game against Southampton. Vestergaard's going to win every single thing in the air. He's probably the tallest player in the Premier League, and that's including goalkeepers. This man is a giant, and we're not going to win a header.
So then, because you said that, and Moloto, you can also think, do you think that almost Tellez then becomes basically irrelevant if he can't do what he's good at?
Not really, because what's his name again? Rashford is going to attack in, that type of player. He can take on players, and yes, like he can take on, and then what's the word? I'm forgetting the word, but then it doesn't always have to be a cross. You can still put the ball in and still be threatening. And
low cross.
I think, and him just being an offensive player, it not just crosses all in all. He can still be dangerous.
Yeah, definitely so. And the other thing is, I don't want Maguire in this game.
Wow.
I really don't want Maguire in this game.
We all know this. The fan. I always say this. I would never pick that centre back pairing. I would always pick Tuanzebe and probably Lindelof. Maguire is not the one. It's just not it. Yeah, it's not it, boys. I will be
Yeah.
honest with you. And
They're
the
not-
reason why I also back it is because Tuanzebe is not going to play against PSG because he is suspended anyway. So it's not like he's going to get burnt out or anything. Play Axel Tuanzebe, you can. But I want to go back to the
Never
Tellers
burning
thing.
him
Yeah.
out.
But I want to go back to the
He
Tellers
just
thing
doesn't
because the
feel-
reason why I brought that up also is that because I think Luke Shaw is back in training and he was in training with the boys. I've seen some pictures of him running up and down. So that's why I want to ask you guys: would you bring if Luke Shaw is fit? If he's fit, do you bring him straight back into the team?
No question, in my opinion. One of the first names on the starting lineup.
Yeah.
Defensively,
I
he's
still
just
agree.
an
I
asset.
still agree. Yeah. I think if Luke Shaw is 100% fit, I'd bring him to the team over Alex Telles. Clay,
Yeah.
you?
I think this game we could definitely do with a more defensive outlet than an offensive outlet, in all honesty. So I think this could be a Luke Shaw game for sure.
Yeah. I don't know
Like
why, but
offensive-
in my head it makes sense that Luke Shaw plays this game. If he's fit. If
Yeah.
he's fit.
Like
Yeah.
offensive fullbacks are nice for the modern game, but like just imagine Trent in this team. I don't think that.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't think it would go well.
Honestly, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's just what I feel.
Defensively, it
Another, speaking about fullbacks, is that our right fullback, Aaron Masaka. You can see he has a question mark there, and there is concern about whether or not he'll be fit enough to play in this game. And I tell you as what, I know people they have their opinions, their reserved opinions about Aaron Masaka, but if we don't have Aaron Masaka, boy, it's curtains. That right hand side is open. I love Fosu Mensah. I do love Brandon Williams, but no one is an Aaron Wan-Bissaka. No one is an Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Even on his bad days, Aaron Wan-Bissaka gives you that defensive, abilities that no one can get you on their good days. So it's a big loss. I know it's underlooked because of the just everything else that's going on in the club. But if he's not fit in this game, we could have some big issues going down on that right hand side.
All my play Tellers that side.
I-
Seems like an Ole move.
I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, Clay, what do you think if Aaron Masaka isn't fit enough to play this game?
Yeah, so for Aaron specifically, I don't know if we're going to see Tuanzebe come there again. We didn't see much of it, but we know he has the
Yeah.
pace to work those channels. But I don't quite know if he is going to do the same job that Aaron can on the right-hand side. So maybe we see Foster come back. We could see Brandon Williams. It looks like he's starting to favor Brandon Williams on the right-hand side. But I don't think this is the game to bring him into personally.
No, yeah, definitely not the game. This is a big
I
game.
feel like
It's a massive
If-
game.
if the 1% can't play, I feel like Tuanzebe is higher on the trust pecking order than.
Okay.
Yep.
I think he lagged out. He should
Yeah.
be back, but yeah, I'm sure Maloto can say he's on the higher pecking order than likes of Brandon Williams, which I would kind of disagree. I think that Ollie likes Brandon Williams. I think that is probably, he's a youth player. He was in the first team a lot last season, so it's like a Mason Greenwood one. It's like obviously Mason Greenwood is different because he's just world class. Well, he has potential to be world class, but I think that it's like the same way you look at Mason Greenwood, you probably look at like a Brandon Williams. Maloto, you back? No, not yet.
Not just-
Not just yet.
But yeah.
Okay.
I think for me, I'd like to see
I
Foster
think
play
it's
the
back, yeah. If it was up to me,
I
I'd
think
play
I might
Foster.
lag. My network's.
It's
Yeah,
all
no,
good.
it's all good. We've seen you lag. It seems like you're kind of back now, though. Okay, yeah, but we kind of got your point. We are just saying you about the picking order and stuff like that. But yeah, so yeah, I think that is right. But like I said, told Clayton that I do think Ollie actually prefers the Brandon Williams. The interesting thing about Foster Mensah though is that there's talks going around that there's a new contract on the table for him. So that could be an insider to maybe saying that if he does sign a new contract, play him at right back. Some even said he's a good CDM. People from Manchester and people are close to the youth team have said that he's a brilliant CDM. Obviously, we've never seen in it, and it's more like a fan theory, just like how Scott can play centre back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's more like that. So, but suppose those are just the rumors. But yeah, I personally
but
I would
this-
like Foster Mensah to do the backup because I've always liked the kid, and I think it's just he's never had enough game time or like enough exposure, and I think it might chuck him to the deep end, but I kind of would prefer him to Brandon Williams.
Well, until the Scott one, I think he plays centre back at Scotland. So I think that's where
Yeah,
that one comes
that's
from.
also
From time to time.
Foster's played it at a youth level and on loan, so it's a case of it's the same thing. It's just not
Yeah.
at United. We still haven't seen it in the
Yeah.
system, and it just
Yeah,
looks like he
yeah.
doesn't care to try use players' potential strengths,
Mm.
especially right now when his job is on the line.
Yeah.
This man
Exactly,
is
that's the thing.
to change.
He's running scared. That's what it is. He's running
Mm.
scared. And also another thing with this team is that I put here NB, Tellez and Fred here, and because I think if they do play, they're going to be important because, like I said, not only offensively but defensively, these guys need to be on job. They need to be on job. Tellez can't be as bursting going forward. I think they will definitely expose him then, and I think Fred, even if Tellez does go with that bursting forward, Fred, he needs to be on his best defensive game, which you know he can, but he needs to make sure it's one of those days. I don't want to see one of those days where it's just like hit and miss, giving the ball away, because you simply cannot give the ball away against Southampton. We're already going to be under enough amount of pressure. Don't put us under more pressure than we need to be, because
Yeah.
it's a slip up. And the thing is, he can give away a lot of fouls. Maguire can give a lot of fouls, and that's the next point I want to bring on to, because, gentlemen, there's one thing. If I was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and I was a coach or anything at United, before that team goes out, I'm gonna tell them, you don't give any set piece away, whether it be a free kick from halfway line, whether it be a free kick edge of the box, corner. Don't give any set piece away. And you know why? Clayton, tell us why.
James Ward-Prowse. That's why.
Exactly. James Ward-Prowse.
And also Yannick Vestergaard to a lesser extent, but it's
Yeah,
still
I was about
main
to say
issue
that.
as well.
Exactly. You don't give these guys set pieces. And you know what I've always said about United? Clayton, what's our weakness?
Set pieces!
Defending set pieces. We can't do it. We can't do it. And this team is the gods at set pieces. Whether it be a corner, you put anything on Ward-Prowse's foot, it's getting delivered. It's getting delivered.
This man
It's
is
weird.
all
We've always been-
alive right now with free kicks.
Exactly.
You need to watch.
We've always been- Yeah. Been pretty poor at defending set pieces. I remember under Mourinho when we had giants basically, Bailly, Fellaini, Zlatan, but somehow we concede so many corners. You think it to yourself, how does that even work? So it's very funny.
Yeah, so that's a big thing. I think it's a small thing, but again, you gotta get the small things right in high-end football. So
Boys, I'm gonna cry if I
very
see the
important.
shot from man marking Vestergaard. I'm actually gonna cry.
it has to be Maguire. And then I still don't even back Maguire. Then I still don't back
I
him.
would,
And that's
yeah,
what, but that's what I'm saying. We can't afford to give these man set pieces. You can't. The only set piece you give away is a throw-in. Okay, that's the only set piece you're allowed to give away. You boot that ball. If it's going for a corner, you boot it for a throw-in. Please don't give them a
Yeah.
corner. Please don't give them a free kick.
Maguire
Don't
needs
give them,
to-
yeah. So people, the
That
defensively,
needs to
we
ring
need to do
Maguire's
our job.
head.
Yeah, it has to ring it, and like usually I don't emphasize it as much, but when you have someone like James Ward-Prowse, oh Lord, Lord, we can't yet. We're literally then hoping that he doesn't.
Free kicks this season already. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. I seen the
You
man
don't
score
get
2
many
in the
better.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get many better set piece takers than James Ward-Prowse.
Yeah.
Like Bruno's good, but Ward-Prowse, that's his thing. Yeah, I'm a set piece
Yeah.
taker. That's his thing. And he's a leader, so that'd be
Great
things. Yeah. Now, another thing is that I got a star by Cavani is because I put it a star last night because I remember I wanted to talk about Cavani, but I think it just linked to that front three in general. I wanted to ask you guys first of all, do you guys think this is our best front three?
On paper, yes, but I don't think so. I think our front three of Greenwood, Rashford, and Martial works better with our system, and I think that's how we should go. And I think Cavani should accept the idea he's the super sub and try and make the most of it, because I think that's how we're gonna get the most second place.
Okay.
I don't know. I think if Cavani plays, he can score the most goals out of anyone. I think he's the most lethal there, but I don't know if we play the right system to accommodate him.
Clay, do you think this is our best front three?
I actually do. Well, it needs the whole team around it like this, though. That's
Yeah.
the thing. It needs this entire team. This has to be our philosophy that we're basing off of. Because we're not using Cavani for his finishing here. We're using him for his brain here. We're using him for think and play. We're using him for his experience. We're not using him for
We're
his
trying to get the most, yeah.
rash.
I want the goals though. I
Yeah,
want those goals.
Get the goals
honestly.
from the wings, though. That's what we're trying to do anyway. We're never ever trying to get Cavani that goal. We saw that. He played a full 90 against Istanbul.
He played like Martial. He played exactly like Martial plays Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's just got that experience to take it to a slightly higher level than Martial normally does. That's all Cavani offers. And then Martial. Okay.
I don't know, honestly. I think Martial's amazing at home. Honestly. Like, I've bagged him for the finish before, but I'll never bag him for the. And honestly, I think how we get the best out of Cavani is by getting his goals. I think that's the whole reason you signed Cavani. It's because of the goals. So you can't then sign him for that and then now want him to play the whole up. I just find it ridiculous. I think if we're gonna start him, we're gonna have to make sure that we play him as the target and get the best out of him. Honestly.
Now,
I don't think that's getting the best out of Cavani though. I really don't. At this stage in his game, I don't think he is this clinical finisher that's gonna just shoot and get us 30 goals a season. I don't think that's his job anymore.
I also kind of agree with Clayton though. I don't think I don't rate him to do it though. That's why I will slate Cavani every time. Like I know he played like Martial, but Martial gets absolute pelters when he doesn't bag. So yeah. I would have it. Cavani, if he's coming up for goals, you go score then.
It's the thing though. The reason he plays like that is because we don't get the ball to his feet, so he's coming out to find the ball, and because he's such an intelligent player, as Clay says, he realizes that the hold up will help the team. Yeah, I feel like how many times
we're not playing to get him to score, we're playing to get him to help the team.
I know. I don't think it's a tactic though. I think it's just how we play under Martial, and we didn't care to tweak it enough, and I find that ridiculous.
From coaching staff.
Yeah, it is. It is incompetence. So I feel like if you watch the Istanbul game, how many times did the ball get to Cavani's feet in the box? Almost never. How do you expect him to score if that's gonna happen?
Like I
said,
I feel like in that role, we're not playing him to be a goal scorer. That's where his strengths lie clearly. He's clearly okay playing this role.
I disagree. I honestly disagree. If it's done on purpose, I'd agree with you. I just don't think so. I feel like it's just poor tactically from Donny, honestly. And I just think.
Okay, now I'll give my 2 cents here, right? Take it or leave it. You guys give me your thoughts on it, right? Because Clayton said he thinks this is probably our best front three, right? Moloto says the old front three, Greenwood, Martial down the middle. But now think about this, right? I'm gonna give you guys food for thought. My 2 cents. If you want these 2 cents, right? If I was manager of Manchester United, everyone knows I don't trade Cavani, right? Right, that's out of the way. I'm gonna ask you guys, who's our best left winger? Because in my head, our best left winger is Martial. It's not Rashford. You guys know the thing. Left winger, I think our Rashford's very good on the right. Because in my head, our best front three is Martial on the left, Mason Greenwood up there in the center, and Marcus Rashford on the right. I think if you have that front three, then the only problem is that with Greenwood, he is still young. He's freaking young. He's not as experienced, but he's our best finisher at the club. If you want an out-and-out striker, everyone cries to play Mason Greenwood in his best position. You play him then. I like Martial. I think Martial is one of our best strikers, but again, I still think he's our best left winger. I don't think Rashford's our best left winger. I think Rashford's probably our best right winger, but he's definitely not our best left winger. He's too dumb. I'll put it like that, straight like that. I'll put it straight up. He's just too dumb to play that left winger. He'll get the goals and things, but personally, from what I want him to learn. And I think if you put him on the right, then he can't do that cutting thing where he goes straight. We can, but now he's on his weak foot. So in my head, naturally Rashford will be thinking, bloody hell, I might as well just look for a pass, look for the tap, and let me do the skill, drive in, and then set up somebody else. And then you have our 2 best goal scorers, Martial and Mason Greenwood, going on the end of it. So that's what I would think.
I disagree, honestly, because I feel like we haven't seen much of him on the right. We've seen one game where he was good, and the games before that he was very questionable. On the left, he's not perfect, but Ole has said this. It's not really playing to assist from the left. It's him coming in, cutting it, and playing as another striker. He's very good doing that from the left. Yeah, and scoring goals. And he's good at that. He scored 20 goals or so doing that. So
I get
honestly, I prefer him there because there's the goals. With Martial, I feel like when you play him there, his strength is how he takes on players, ball control. But it's not as consistent as when he plays to the middle. When he plays to the middle, the hold-up is always there, and it's benefiting the team. On the left, it's hot and cold.
But then the other problem is that you have to change the team again. But again, like I said, if you play Rashford back there, it's fine, no problem. He's played there, he's back 20 goals and stuff. But then if you play Rashford there, Taylor, I don't want to see Taylor's there, because Taylor's and Rashford don't work at all. And it was one game,
The
but I
thing
don't
is,
think it
no.
worked at all. Martial went on the left side for one game and it worked way better.
No, look, okay, I get your point. But how long has Rashford and Shaw being at Manchester United? A
For
very
long.
long time. So obviously they're going to be better than that. Telles and Rashford, and we know Rashford football IQ is not amazing.
No,
So
it's
Telles
far
and
from
Rashford
it,
is going to
it's
take
far from it.
longer. It's going to take longer for them to climatize together, and I think the only way to do this is to keep game time.
And the only reason I also, but I would agree with Clayton, because you'll never play my frontier. You'll never start Greenwood as a regular, as a Manchester United striker. You'll never do that. In fact, I'll be all in if he starts doing that regularly. If that was the frontier, I'll be like, well, damn, I love that frontier. That frontier.
Here's the question though.
Yeah.
Can I ask this question though?
Yeah.
Where has Martial had his best season in this club?
That's striker.
In my
100%,
position.
100% striker.
So why are we changing that? Because he had a few bad weeks. I feel like that's a bit rash.
I don't think it's trash. I think it's just getting the best with what you have out of this team, and we don't have.
And I
wingers.
think
we don't. The
to
board
get the
didn't
best
get
out
us
of a
wingers.
striker.
We didn't get a Jadon Sancho.
Yes,
But now they brought us Cavani, so Cavani, he can
People
be
have dry
left wing,
spells.
but
I get you.
So that's
But then why? Okay, what do you want to do with Cavani though? Don't you want the goals though?
Yeah, but I would set up my team
And
to
I
get
feel-
him the goals. Oli won't do that though.
Okay, fair. I'll give you that point. But here's the thing though. He scored 20-something goals from strike. Like, why would you ever change that? He's shown that he can do that.
No,
I
he
feel
can.
like
He can.
you
I
can't
have
just-
no problem. But
I get-
the only thing I'll say is that no matter where Martial plays, I can guarantee you'll be better than anyone else in those positions. If he plays
Yeah.
as striker, I back him more than Mason Greenwood and Cavani. If he plays left wing, I back him more than Marcus Rashford. If he plays right wing for I back him more than Mata, Rashford, you name anyone. So Martial,
I don't know.
for me,
I've
is
seen him
just-
on the left. It's entertaining to watch. It's very entertaining to watch, but it's very inconsistent at the same time.
Yeah, but the problem, like I said, it all goes back to we just didn't get our signings. If we had Jadon Sancho, we wouldn't have this problem. We just wouldn't have this problem that we're in now. I'd be like, done. Sancho, freaking Rashford, Martial, go for it. Run at them. Or even freaking
The
Greenwood.
front he works.
I think
You know,
either
I mean,
way,
what was the stat last
it's
season?
just about what you prefer. And like I said, if it was up to me, the only difference I would have is that I wouldn't have Cavani there. I would have Greenwood. Because I still
Sure.
back Greenwood to have better goals.
And it
But
seems that we want
Didn't
to
they have like?
That's the thing as well. We don't want to play that out and out goal scorer. We want someone who's going to hold up play, who's going to link up with everybody else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
it does.
Donny
seem
does
like
the
that.
Martial job. He literally does exactly what Martial does.
yeah,
That's
he does. He does. And then you
I
have,
get you.
and that's
I just
why you
think
have
Martial
another
does it
threat.
better, to be honest.
just because of the experience. Only because of the years of experience, man.
But then, okay, you know what's Maloka's thing though? If we go back to your front league, Martial's up here, alright? Rashford's back here. I love Mason Greenwood, right? And I rate him on the wing. I do. I rate he can be a right winger. But then I just don't know if he's got the intelligence enough to be like that. It looks like I think the talent, everything is there, but it's going to take him time. And does Oli have time at the moment? I don't think he does.
Especially not against Southampton. Let's put
Guys,
that-
no. I feel like was goal scoring ever a problem? In this?
Yes!
I feel like what
Goal scoring is
No, I don't
always
think
a
so.
problem. It's always a problem at this club. We don't get enough goals.
Fair. Let me reiterate. Was it the determining factor for us not winning most games? I don't think so. I feel like with bigger problems in midfield and defensively, and they hinder how many goals we can score.
Yeah,
I
but
think didn't they have a crazy stat last season? Like they had some of the most goals in the Premier League.
Yeah,
Or something like that,
Martial,
the front three.
Greenwood, and Rashford had the most
Yeah,
goals
so-
as a frontier.
I can understand how you can then drop that. That just seems insane to me. I feel like you try to build on that and you try to make them the best they can be. They're very young. They're already getting the best stats. Build on that. Make them the best in the league. And that's where I'm at, honestly.
But you know, Ali, it's clear that Mason Greenwood isn't in his immediate plans right now anymore. It's
Yeah.
very clear. It's,
Fun things
we can-
happen with Mason
he
Greenwood, whether
doesn't
we
want
like it or
Mason
not.
Greenwood in that starting 11 right now. He doesn't want him near it. He wants to avoid playing him as much as possible. He is now an impact sub. That's Mason Greenwood's job at this point. I would 100% agree with you. I'd love to build on our front three from last season. Mason Greenwood probably get 30 goals this season.
No, I love that front three last season. I do.
That was really
Rashford
good.
is questionable, but still.
Rashford was hard
But
to
Rashford, when he gets you 20 goals a season, I mean, it is what it is. He might not be my brilliant left winger, my perfect signing,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Rashford was the reason we won games before Bruno got here. It was only Rashford. That was it. That's all we had at that stage. Because Martial was still trying to figure out himself. He was still trying to get into the goals, and he was there every now and then. Greenwood was still trying to imagine his potential a bit more, and we were playing Dan James and Lingard and Mata there instead. It's a case
Because
of
you know the thing is, if we play Malotto's front three now, like in real time now, he won't pick it. He won't pick that front. If he does this thing, he's gonna do this. He will literally go Rashford back here, Rash, Tony, and then oh my lord, I can't do this.
Mate,
I
yeah.
can't do
But
this.
what's this? What's the story with?
Oh James, I don't think you'll pick Greenwood.
Oh,
Look
James,
at it. I will lose. If I see this team, I will lose my shit.
What's the story with Greenwood? Like, are there no backroom politics or
so
something?
Greenwood's had a very tough year, admittedly. He lost a friend, a very close friend. He was sick. It's been
The
just a very
media,
tough
just
year.
you know, yeah, they just.
Yeah, I know. I
Ollie's
just
just
think
kind of like he's out of my pants now. It's simple as that.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
It
I just
feels
feel like
It really feels like
he's protecting him. He's always been very protective of Greenwood.
Yeah.
I think it's just
No,
that.
but that's the
And I
thing. That's
think
part
as
of
soon
the
as
problem.
he's-
That's why we won't see a Mason Greenwood though, because he is getting
Yeah.
protected. So
Fair.
because
Okay.
there Ollie plays Mason Greenwood and he has a stinky game because he's young and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Then what?
over for him. We can't afford
Okay,
Mason
if you-
Greenwood to do things like that.
If you're
Well,
arguing
all
that,
from
that
Ollie's point.
Ollie's
Yeah.
trying to protect,
From Ollie's point, yeah.
Yeah.
then in that sense, I can understand a shake-up. But I feel like if he's gonna be integrated back in the team eventually, I think that's the way to go.
No, yeah. Obviously, if it's up to me, I would tell Mason. Like I said, I would be like, boy, you are my number 9. You are going to be my top goal scorer. You are the best finisher by far in this football club. I back you. I don't, whether no matter what happens, whether you blank for 3 weeks in a row, but you get me a goal that week, you are gonna be my striker. I have complete faith in you. You can be the best player in this world has ever seen potentially. I back you. You have Martial. You have Rashford next to you. You freaking light it up, boys.
That'll be interesting.
Light it up.
I
I would
need
have.
to-
I would kill for that front three, for Marshall on the left, Greenwood down the middle, and Rashford on the right. Because I would also tell Rashford, I'll be like, boy, I love you and everything. You have the talent, hard work. Everything's right. Now let's build your brain. Because once you get a brain, it's game over. Also, if Rashford gets a brain, it's done. It's done. This guy is lethal. He's gonna be one of the best players in the world. And then Tony,
Yeah.
I'll be like Tony. Tony, what are you the best at? Do your thing, boy. You dribble at them. You do that cut in, and you finesse it top right. Or you look for Greenwood as a pass. Done. Easy. But that's me. That's how I man. Ollie's not that type. That's the whole reason we're having this conversation. Is that Ollie is still. I'm not doing it. You're not doing it. Ollie. What is Ollie going? And this is the most likely, probably. That's we could. I'm gonna cry if we see this team. Honestly, this team makes me sad already. I know it's got Donny in it, but my God, we're losing. We play the same.
I feel like that's the slight difference.
That's the sad part. Yeah. Sorry.
That's the smallest difference between Rashford and Jadon Sancho. I think Jadon Sancho has a little bit more skill and he's more intelligent. But besides that, I don't think
On the assist side,
he's that
versus
far
Rashford's
behind.
goal scoring side. It's a very different player that you're looking at. That's the thing.
I know. I just feel like if Rashford just made better decisions, he could probably maybe even better.
No, it'd be better
Just
than Jadon
cross the
Sancho.
ball
That's what
when
I
you-
think, though, as well.
He uses that brain on the right a lot more. That's the thing as well. It looks
Yeah.
like he actually tries.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I like him on the right. Because for the first
I-
time, I'm like, the man, no, I lie. But on the right, it looked like he was thinking about passing. Usually, he doesn't even think about it. On the right, why aren't you passing? And then just shoots it halfway across the field, and it's like, oh my God. But now it's like he has to think. He has to use his brain now.
I get you. I guess I'm just fishing for consistency, and you got 20
No,
goals
that's
from there,
true,
so I don't
yeah.
want to lose that.
No, yeah, you don't want to lose that front
So-
three. But the problem is with that front three, like we said, is that it's missing one player. Like Greenwood isn't coming back in that team probably. I'd be very surprised if that front three comes back this season and is our main front three. That's what I'm saying.
They're gonna take injuries, I think.
Yeah.
They're gonna genuinely take injuries.
And also again with playing Cavani, I understand it. That front three will play, but for this game I think play Cavani because we have more games coming up and we need to also rest Cavani. So and I don't know. It just depends on what games Oli wants to use Cavani in. Because we can't play Cavani 90 minutes for the rest of our games.
Exactly.
He will get injured or he will just collapse on the floor and be like, I'm done. I'm dead.
The man had like 6 injuries just last season,
Exactly.
and he barely played.
Yeah.
You really
Yes.
want to play 90 minutes of Premier League action after 90 minutes of your Champions League action?
Yeah.
That's a really tough ask on the man.
So yeah, I mean,
I think if
it's
Cavani
very interesting. Yeah.
could get good. we get good numbers off the bench, it's not been. If we
You
have
better,
someone
bro,
who can
because
come on and make
that's
a
the
difference.
whole reason we bought Cavani. You know, we didn't buy
Yeah.
Cavani for hold up, otherwise we just play Martial still.
Exactly.
This man better start begging,
Yeah.
otherwise I'm gonna rip him to pieces because they tried killing my boy, and my boy still got numbers on the boy. So I will absolutely violate Cavani, and people are looping him up already. I won't have it.
It's a bit
Because
tough.
my boy does it every fucking game. He does the same thing Cavani does. Same thing.
Exactly.
So
I think it's a bit tough, because I don't think everybody is good at coming off the bench and scoring. Some people need to start and get a feel of the game, and that's how they score a lot of goals. So it just depends on what type of player.
yeah, I think Cavani could though. He's experienced enough to know. He should be able to sit on the bench, be like, okay, that's the problem. That's where the weakness. Like Oli, what Oli used to do. I do think Cavani could do that. So, but yeah,
Not many players can do that consistently,
yeah, not many.
in the modern game
Yeah, not
especially.
many. But I want to talk about the show is getting a bit long, so I just want to talk about two more things before we get into score predictions. But yeah, I kind of forgot to do this. But recently, key players for each side for United. I don't even lie to you, boys. There's only one man in this team. You can have Donny, but there's only this man here. He is, boys. I won't lie to you. If they block him out, we ain't winning. I don't care how much you guys people rate Donny. I love Donny also, but you mark out Bruno. This team ain't working. This team ain't running.
Yeah.
This team ain't running. This
The
team
thing with
ain't running,
Donny-
boys.
The thing with Donny though is that he knows how to break that. He knows how to break the press on Bruno. He knows how to relieve the pressure. He
Yeah,
knows
that's
how
the thing.
to.
Though. Yeah, that's the thing.
So that's the thing. They'll complement each other. If Bruno is man marked out the game, Donny will find a way to get him back in.
Yeah,
That's the
hopefully,
big-
yeah. And I think you will, because he's very intelligent. Donny Van de Beek
Yeah.
is extremely intelligent, so yeah.
But if we only play Bruno and he just gets
Nah,
man
then it's
marked
done.
out,
That's a very good point. Because if we do play Fred and Scott, Southampton will be like, well, our job's easy. It's just Bruno
Yeah.
to worry about then. Just
Ray
fuck
is
him up.
literally just gonna back up into Bruno and that's the game.
And that's it, yeah. But yeah, for me, honestly, the key players is Bruno. Yeah, Bruno and Donny if he plays, but that's it for me. From Southampton, there's a god of a beast of a set piece taker there, boys. His name is James Ward-Prowse, boys. And that's my only warning. Yeah, I know you boys can touch on the other players, but this is my only warning to United fans and people in general around the world. United, don't give them a set piece. I'm telling you now,
Yeah.
you will make you live to regret giving them a set piece. And especially the way we defend is not good. Is not good. Don't do it. But yeah, James Ward-Prowse and Bruno Fernandes and Donny Van de Beek are definitely the key players for me in this game. Out on form though is Theo Walcott.
And
But
I
yeah,
agree.
you guys can talk now, so your key players.
Again, I'd forgotten about Walcott, but I was gonna say with Redmond outright, if I'm not mistaken, and Ings, I feel like it is gonna be on Ward-Prowse and Walcott. I can imagine
Yeah.
they're gonna cause us problems. I can guarantee you they're going to cause problems. For us, Bruno is the main piece of the puzzle. Without him, the puzzle just falls.
Yeah.
And
it's done.
It's not a very good analogy,
It's
but I think we definitely need him. And with Donny playing, we'll see. Maybe if Bruno doesn't have a brilliant game, we can still get something from Donny. But we've seen in the past, if Bruno's off, then the team's off.
Yeah.
So
The perfect analogy
main-
is like, let's just think about Big Ben if you're watching from England, or let's just say the Golden Gate Bridge if you're watching from America, or let's just say Nelson Mandela Bridge if you're from South Africa or Soccer City. Bruno is that screw. That's that screw that went in that you like, he's that screw. It's like if you remove that screw, Soccer City, Golden State Bridge, or Big Ben is just gonna fall down and crumble to it's just done. It's gonna burn and crumble down to the floor. Just that one little screw. And it's done. Everything breaks. Done. It's over. Done. But yeah, that's the message. Clinton, your key players.
Yeah, Southampton are just such a team-based team, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They prioritize being team players. They prioritize working together. So everybody in that Southampton team is a threat to us right now. Romeo can hit those long shots. Ward-Prowse will control the midfield. Just everything is just not with us right now. They've got Shea Adams who's come into form. Walcott who's just a beast again. Looks like he's regained some proper
Confidence,
form up
yeah.
in Southampton. Yeah, he's just looking really good. And they're just going to have pace and power, and it's going to be very scary going forward. Kyle Walker-Peters, Yannick Vestergaard, we are just... in a very bad spot going into this game right now,
It's
and we have
true.
to be very careful.
Okay, I don't know if it's screwed, but like I said, this is gonna be a very tough game, I think.
This is a very, very tough
Which
game.
actually brings me towards the end of the show because I think it's the toughest of everything else. Gentlemen, your score predictions.
Okay, I guess I'm going first.
Yeah, you go.
Look, I'm gonna give Ola the benefit of the doubt.
Oh no.
I
Really
think he plays the right.
No,
Yeah, I think Donny's gonna play. Front three, I probably won't get my green note, but I think Cavani will play the front three. Will probably play it against Istanbul,
Yeah.
and that should be enough to get a 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. 2-2 draw. Interesting.
Okay. Just to make you guys feel a little bit worse about us scoring goals right now, Alex McCarthy made 9 saves last game
Oh no.
against Wolves. He kept them in the game single-handedly. So, if you want to look for negatives for us right now, if our finishing is not on, McCarthy seems to be in the form of his life right now, and that's going to be something we have to
Doesn't
worry
play
about.
Bruno.
Yeah,
Hasn't
he hasn't played Bruno. I won't lie, boys. That is literally my only hope in this United team. Whether you be like, no, United haven't beaten us, this, you haven't played Bruno. If there's ever
Exactly.
one man who can ruin your day in a moment, it's Bruno Fernandes.
Exactly. So, here's to hoping that we're a bit more clinical today. Well, on Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
We need to be clinical. I feel like I don't favor our odds in this game right now, and it's gonna take a serious miracle for us to win. In all honest opinion, I think we're gonna lose 2-1.
Now, the irony is, I agree with Clayton. I also think we're going to lose 2-1. I feel like United aren't going to listen to me. I think we will concede.
When my 2-2 draw is the best result.
Yeah, I know. That's not
That's
bad.
when you know.
I mean, I must point this out, by the way. This is a must win. Again, it is a must win. This is like, come on. But, if you're asking me for my score prediction, if I had to bet on it, I'd probably say Southampton could probably nick it 2-1 because I do think Bruno Fernandes is good enough to get us a goal. But I do think United won't listen to me and we give away a lot of set pieces, and I do think we will concede from 2 set pieces. So there's your bonus prediction. I think
What's the best of God?
that's one of them, and I think the other one will just be Ward-Prowse from a free kick top corner. And then I'll say it again. I'll be like, guys, I don't know why, but De Gea just doesn't fill me with confidence.
Yeah,
when it
De
comes-
Gea's confidence is low after that goal.
After that free kick, and I'm like, oh no, now it's playing Ward-Prowse. It's done.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ash, yeah, boys, it's not the score
Yeah.
predictions. It's not the score predictions you like to give. It just shows where we are.
It's in line. It's in line with the pattern, you know. We beat Brom, we beat Istanbul, so now we're going to Southampton.
Yeah.
Yeah, but admittedly, we're supposed to win both.
Hard works under Ole.
We should never ever lose those 2 games.
Yeah,
Well,
this one's a bit of a
Yeah.
tricky one.
That's the thing. Yeah, this is a very tough game. Southampton have come such a long way from last season, and they're just so dangerous. And just credit to them, and they're probably going to dominate us from minute 1. I'm very scared.
Yeah, I'm very scared.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, no.
Very That's simple.
Imagine.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, gentlemen. 2-2, 2-1 from me and Clay lost. 2-1 loss, I must emphasize, and a 2-2 draw. So no win predictions from either of us 3. So let us know down in the comments below your score predictions. Let's see. Hopefully, most of you guys feel a lot more confident than we. I swear we're United fans, by the way. I swear, I oath we are United fans. I haven't missed.
Saints.
I haven't missed the United game today. I promise you. I'm a big ass United fan. But that just yeah. I'm also I try be as realistic as I can sometimes. So and I just don't feel it with this one. But anyways, gentlemen, is there anything else you guys want to mention before I end off the show?
I don't know. Just it shows our inconsistency. We're gonna lose this game. We're gonna beat PSG. It's just depressing. Like, where are we going as a club? But let's hoping for a miracle that we somehow beat.
Shouldn't even have to be a miracle. It should be beat them. Job done.
Yeah, exactly. If we play 2 holding midfielders, I'm gonna lose it. That's as much as I'm gonna say. If I don't see Donny playing next to a Fred, Matic, or McTominay,
I agree,
Done.
honestly.
it's done.
I agree.
That's fair.
I'll leave it there.
I'll say one more thing though, is that I haven't mentioned this for a long time, but our fantasy Premier League, we have a league. The code should be somewhere in our videos. Just go, you can probably find. I'll try and get it for you and put it in the description if you haven't joined already. But if you have joined already, you notice your boys at the top. Your boys at the top. You know, Mulot and Clayton look to be. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, we will speak about that just now. I just had to put that in there. But anyways, yeah, you know.
Speak at the end of the season, Jit.
Yeah, we'll speak about it at the end of the season. But yeah, you know, yeah, if you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing, smashing a like on the video. Like I said, comment down below and everything. And yeah, boys, we will check you on Sunday.